I saw the smart lock history at 2:58 a.m. The code was ours. I'm not jealous of locks, I'm jealous of who they think belongs. Metal is honest. It refuses to improvise. At 2:58 a.m., when decent people outsource breathing to sleep and the rest of us audit the night, I opened the app for our smart lock because the apartment had the posture of a room that had just lied. The history was a list as tidy as a tax return. Locked, unlocked, auto, manual. Then a line I didn't recognize. 2:41 a.m., unlocked code 4157. We have three codes we call by their real names. Ours, the cleaners, Matt, for cat emergencies and the kind of rain that changes minds. None of them are numbers. 4157 looked like a hotel room that had fallen into our door. I watched the lines again as if they might blink and change to something gentler. They didn't. You can talk yourself into almost anything at 2:41. You can talk a lock into nothing. I set the phone face down, which is how cowards practice patience, and counted the tile squares on the kitchen floor because I would rather do math than charity at that hour. Sam had texted at 11:30, "Studio late, don't wait." He often says late the way weather says chance. I boiled water because water is the only thing here that doesn't pretend. At 3:22, keys in the lock. A second later, our own code sang its polite little song. Sam eased in, shoes in his hand as if sound had a curfew. "You're up," he said, which is a question that wants forgiveness for being an accusation. I poured him a mug of kettle honesty and didn't mention the app. Morning hoards mercy, I wanted to be there when it arrived. At 7:05 the kettle did its part. I left the lock log open on the table like a newspaper headline I couldn't fold smaller. Sam came in with studio hair and the hoodie he wears when he's auditioning for Apology. I turned the screen to him. At 2:41, I said, our door decided to do math. He looked at me, then took a breath I recognized, the kind you borrow from a place with longer corridors. Andrea left something, an interface, the flat one with the knobs. He couldn't carry it alone, he said. I texted him a code. I didn't want to wake you. He winced. I should have told you anyway. What code did you text him? I asked, because there are questions that consider themselves chairs. You can sit on them or not. They will remain. Silence doing paperwork. For 157, he said. I made it up. I didn't save it, a one-off. I'm not a detective. I edit sound for films about people who want their lives to apologize with structure. If you give me a lie, I don't know where to put the echo. I texted Matt, whose gift is treating panic like a knot and not a personality. Lunch, I wrote. My door is writing a memoir. He replied, 12:40. One question only. At the north side, linen napkins that refuse drama, Matt watched me slide the phone across like a report card. He looked at the app, then at me, then at the glass of water because good listeners like props. What you know, a code existed, he said. What you don't, why? What you want, to stay a person, not a guard. Ask why or who, not both. If you ask both, the night gets to write paragraphs. I went home and wrote on the fridge instead. Under the rubber orange that keeps our rules pretending to be permanent, I added, what happens out there passes through this table first. Sam set his bag down like it had to confess its receipts and put both palms flat, the way our therapist taught us, because hands hide less when they're working. Which question? He asked. Why 4157? I said. Because the part wasn't coming, he said, looking at the patch of wall where the paint is considering different careers. Because the studio air tasted like old math and Luca said walk the sound, and he's sometimes right. Because Andrea texted I'm downstairs with the thing and I thought, I can fix a night by making it quick. I didn't think about the hour. I didn't think about the lock that never forgives spelling. I didn't think. Did you kiss him? I asked, breaking Matt's rule with the elegance of a boy with a stick and a fence. No, he said, and his mouth made the shape I collect for truth. I wanted to be the kind of person who didn't make you count doorways. We added lines beneath the orange. He wrote the first careful mess, neat chaos. No one-off codes after 11. I wrote the second in capital letters that tried to look like adulthood. If restlessness calls, we walk it together. He added one more I didn't know we needed. If one of us feels more broken than brave, we stop the scene. For 5 days the lock behaved like a monk. Locked, unlocked, auto. We ate at hours that didn't confess. I delivered a cut without hatting the director. Sam found a bridge without lighting the rest on fire. Then Tuesday did what Tuesdays do. At 12:58 a.m. my phone whispered, "New code created, 4157," and then 3 minutes later, unlocked 4157. The soft buzz of betrayal is the only thing smartphones sound good at. I texted everything okay, which is the coward's way of holding your breath. He replied, yes, returning the interface back soon. He did not say Andrea or hotel or my defense rests. I set the phone face down and moved the kitchen chair to the center of the floor, our therapist's favorite ridiculous, effective ceremony. Move one piece of furniture and your body will believe you have changed the angle of the scene. When Sam came home the next evening, he saw the chair and smiled a tired, grateful smile, the look of a man who knows he is being caught gently. "Move it with me," he said. We slid it to the left, then the right, one sentence per shift until accusation turned into punctuation. I almost texted, "I can't," he said. "I didn't because I would have sent it to you, and I don't want almost to be the word you keep in your pocket for me." I wanted to be angry and discovered I preferred useful. "Delete the code," I said. "Delete the idea that doors like surprises. Put a chime on the app for anything after 11. The suggestions sounded like a bored administrator and felt like a liturgy. He did the taps. The history blinked and forgot, which is a skill I envy. He got an email with kind fonts and promises that made the light in our place try to look more expensive. Residency, it said. 7 days, quiet rooms, mountain air. He forwarded the PDF with every attachment like a man who doesn't want to be misunderstood by metadata. "I want to go without disappearing," he wrote. "I'll send pages, not alibis. When I get back, please ask, what did you write before what did you do?" I taped 2 lines under the orange. Addresses in the open. "A good night here, voice note every day." He sent voice notes that were weather disguised as confession. "Today the table forgave me. Today the page didn't, so I forgave it first. Today I know nothing and I'm here." I sent back our apartment performing competence, the coffee rising, the plant refusing to give up, the lock log with its boring little hymns. Locked, unlocked, no numbers. On Wednesday at 12:41 the little microphone appeared next to his name. Recording. No message arrived. I typed a demand, turned it into a question, then moved the chair again and let my body talk my brain into not becoming an archive. He came home with a suitcase that didn't slam and a face that knew where it belonged. He put 2 pages on the table and watched them like a parent at a nursery window, terrified, proud, awake. "They're not good," he said. "They're mine," I said, and we called that revision. Everything I respect has the word "again" somewhere in its instructions. The app still exists. Some nights my thumb goes there the way teenagers go to bruises. I scroll the history like a parishioner in a church he doesn't believe in and hope boredom is the sermon. Most nights it is. The history says things like 9:07 locked and 5:42 unlocked, and I say things like "here" out loud to a room that likes nouns. A week later, because brains are teenagers who dare you to touch what hurts, I opened the night with the new 4157 again. I stared at the numbers until they looked like a combination for grief. I pressed details, expecting the app to become a judge. It said guest. It said temporary. It said auto-delete after 24 hours. I'd missed that because midnight has a sense of humor and I don't. The code had been designed to be forgotten. I had given it a religion. I asked Sam where he learned to generate it so quickly. He said YouTube, then Luca. Then the internet knows how to teach machines care and people chaos. We laughed because that's the only tool we own that doesn't require batteries. We did one more useless and therefore necessary thing. We went downstairs together at 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday and performed maintenance. We replaced the rubber weather strip that used to squeal like a violinist who loved drama more than accuracy. We tightened the strike plate so the latch didn't have to believe in speed. We turned on the chime that says, "Unlocked," with a tone that sounds like a polite door clearing its throat to remind you it's working. I saved the process in the app as a scene and named it boring, because that is the virtue I wanted most. That night the lock sang its quiet note exactly twice, once for me, once for Sam. The app recorded each moment like a clerk with good posture. We ate late, the kind of meal that mistakes simple for holy. I put my hand on the fridge under the orange and felt the stupid permanence of magnetism. If an "I can't" is going to exist, both of us sit with it, the line read, and the week had gone by without testing the sentence. That felt like a win. We didn't know how to celebrate without breaking it. I won't pretend our door will never host something clever at a rude hour again. I won't pretend I don't sometimes dream in 4-digit codes, but I am trying to stop outsourcing faith to screens that can't hold me. If another night hands me a history I didn't ask for, a log with the wrong numbers in it, a dot crossing a map toward furniture that isn't mine, a clip with a laugh that learned our walls, I want to do the handful of humiliating, useful things we've taught ourselves to do. Put water on. Move the chair. Ask why before who. Wait for the key in the lock like it's a sound you can tune to. Let the app keep its nouns. The rest codes that want to act like characters, hallways that think they deserve plot, ceilings that admire themselves, can stay where they belong, background. This morning at 7:05, I filmed the coffee rising because ritual is cheaper than religion and works better on Tuesdays. I wrote "here" in the caption because words like the comfort of addresses. Sam slid his hand into the frame, palm to my palm without touching, a lid that doesn't pretend to seal. "Here," he said. Then he took the marker and under the orange added a line without asking permission. "If you open the door for someone, you open your mouth for me." If we're any good at this, we'll keep being the address. And on the nights we aren't, the lock will still clear its throat, the kettle will still keep its appointment, and the chair will still be willing to be ridiculous and effective in equal measure, exactly where it needs to be.